Hitchens. Mr. Hitchens, why do you hate our Lord Jesus Christ so much?
Well, I can't hate anyone in whose existence I don't really believe. They've started believing in one God, and they're getting nearer the true figure all the time. This is progress.
Hi, thanks for tuning into my second video blog. This one's entitled Starlight versus Creationism. And so sort of like a prosecution of a trial, like I do in my book. I go from A to Z on that one, but I'm going to demonstrate how the evidence of how Starlight completely destroys the creationism story. So bear with me. You'll see sort of the evidence has come in, and at some point you might be thinking, well, where is this leading to, until the hammer's dropped. So, thanks for tuning in. There are many ways in which Starlight betrays the lie of creation, but in this video we are only concerned with the speed of light. Years ago, popular scientist Bill Nye made an excellent video showing scale of distance and size of our solar system. But for my purpose today, I need to go far beyond our solar system. So I'll just give a little perspective. This is a 5.5-inch globe. I've got a 12-inch globe, but I don't want to have to use such a large scale. So the easiest way to put a moon and the sun in proper proportion to this globe is because the speed of light travels around the equator 7.5 times, very close, per second. You would take any globe you want to use, you'd measure the distance around the equator with a string and then multiply it by 7.5 times. In this case, that's 133 1/8 inches. So outstretched from this would be 1 second the distance that the speed of light travels. And in very close proportion to that globe is this 1.5 inch ping pong ball, which would represent the moon. And that is 1.3 light seconds away from the Earth. So you would take the distance of 7.5 times around the globe at the equator, multiply it by 1.3, which comes out, I think, to 14.5 inches away from this globe, and that puts the sun at approximately just under 1.7 kilometers away, and it would be a 46-foot ball in proportion to this globe. So I'm just going to give you, it's not to wow you with distances. I'm going to use this and then carry it out further into space, and then describe the speed of light a little bit so that you can understand that the light that we see is not instantaneous, and it gives away age, although other things give away age to scientists as well. So I'm going to plant this stuff up down a road, and I have a straight line shot from where I'm parking the car to where I gotta wind up putting the sun. So here we are at the beginning of our trip. It's gonna take us to the sun. So there's the Earth, and 1.3 light seconds takes us to the moon, which is 14 feet 5 inches. And now we're going to go see how far away just the sun is. So here we go. We're going to be probably traveling about 4 times the speed of light so that we don't hold up any traffic that might happen around here. Hopefully I can drive around this globe. Here we go. Okay, here we go on our journey. So, speed of light at that scale is about 12 kilometers per hour, 7-something miles per hour. It's pretty much a straight line shot. That's why I picked this road. This road ends up at a crossroad, which is 0.9 kilometers from this little road here. There's a crossroad up there that we can't travel past. I'll have to stop the car and get out. Then we'll walk up a field to a total of just under 1.7 kilometers. And I want to see if I can make a 46-foot sun up here or there. So right now we're traveling about 4 times the speed of light. I think the tires are holding up. Anyway, we've almost covered most of it. We're going to just pull over right up here, and then I'm going to park the car on the side of the road here. I don't want to, like, just the sun is so close, and yet to this scale it takes up quite a bit of time just to get there. So, but you'll see the purpose of this video a little bit later. It's not just for us to say, wow, that's so far, just to go to the sun on a scale like that. That's nothing. I'm gonna make sure I don't get run over, otherwise I'll get a lot of hits on this video if somebody uploads it. Okay, so the edge of this field is pretty much in line, in a straight line with where I had the globe set up. And keep in mind, every step I take, how many thousands of miles I'm covering, when something like that represents about 1,000 miles. My walking speed right now would be about half the speed of light, roughly, in that scale. So and it's a bit uphill. And these trees in around here are 20-25 feet to maximum 30 feet in height. Just for some perspective when the sun appears here. So the next closest star to us is Proxima Centauri, a smaller star than our Sun, with a planet we now call Proxima Centauri b, and they are about 4¼ light years from Earth. which on this scale, puts it about 5 or 50,000 miles beyond our moon at this scale. So here we are. The sun is going to be blistering hot because we're getting close, and the estimation of where I'll put it is very close. We would be approximately 150 yards from where the sun would be in proportion. Right there. Let there be light. And there was light. So, there you have it. That's close by. I wasn't going to show relative scale distances inside our solar system like the other planets, because my purpose is to actually demonstrate how we know the 6-day myth that's in the Bible is completely impossible. It's impossible for every reason you can imagine, but we've outgrown those mythologies a long time ago. And the only reason that so many people keep it is because the control that religion has through brainwashing. It doesn't allow us to grow with the growing knowledge base, and that's okay. You know, if somebody wants to be in the dark, be ignorant, you know, why should we care? Well, I think the biggest reason we gotta care is what I had discussed in the first video. If you've been raised on dogma, and you've been raised to deny evidence, you can be a real problem to society, to the world, to nature, to the rest of us. Because by default, a believer denies science if it goes against creationism. And generally speaking, that forms a habit of denying science for anything that goes against someone's agenda. So that involves global warming and pandemic responses, things like that. So because of that, it is our business. It's everybody's business whether or not somebody is living in fairy tale land in order to do so on pain of eternal punishment in hell. Just ridiculous. Like, we've got to grow up. We've got to get a grip. And they're going to deny, those people deny what I'm talking about now, because they've got no choice. Religion makes so much money with its control, it has to keep its followers stupid. It just has to. Anyway, are they stupid? Are these people stupid? Maybe they're not, but they're kept ignorant, and it does make them stupid to some degree, and science has shown that as well, with the denial of the right or the ability to exercise our logical thinking by growing up on dogma. We just can't underestimate the damage that being forced to believe in impossible things when you're young young and your brain is forming. We just cannot underestimate how bad it is. Science has proven that people with strong beliefs lack, in clinical studies, clinical testing, lack the reasoning. They might have the same, memory ability, but their reasoning and logic, which is really what a brain is most amazing at, is destroyed in the same way that if you took an infant and confined him to a wheelchair, and then at age 25 asked him to walk, he's not going to be able to. Well, this is what happens to people's brains, and it affects us in elections and decisions about things that matter to all of us. The first objection anyone standing for creation will put up is that the universe isn't as big as science says it is, and that we couldn't know the distances to anything so far away. But I'll summarize that for you, how we know these distances. The second objection creationists will have is, okay, so we know the distances. That only proves how great God is. A God who requires constant praise, but never bragged about how massive his creation is. It's nowhere to be found in Scripture. But distance does destroy the book of Genesis, the only word we have from God. And I'll show you how. But first, we have to start with the distances. It all starts with triangulation. The distance between our eyes and their individual focus angle is automatically estimated by our brain to perceive distance. We then began to apply trigonometry to answer one unknown. For example, distance, when we have two knowns, like the length or 2 points of observation and their angles. Then we progressed to increasing our distance, our points of observation, beginning with distant points on the Earth, and measure their angles of intersection for, say, the Moon. Once we had more known distances fixed, we began using them to find much further distances by using the known object's movement against the unknown. This is called parallaxing. Finally, on December 19, 2013, the European Space Agency sent a scope named Gaia into space 1.5 million kilometers from Earth for parallaxing only. It has gained an extremely accurate database of more than 1 billion stars using parallax trigonometric calculations. We've also found distances using star chemistry and brightness comparisons. Given equal brightness, 10 times less bright equals 100 times more distant. And so people could see that sound has a speed, but light was thought to be instantaneous. The first person on record to suggest that light was not infinite was Greek philosopher Empedocles in the 5th century BC. Galileo was the first person to actually test it, unsuccessfully of course, by lighting 2 torches a mile apart. One was lit and the second one lit in response to seeing the first torch. But the question lingered. In 1676, Danish astronomer Ole Romer observed Io, a moon of Jupiter, and could accurately predict when it would appear coming around the far side of Jupiter. But when he projected his clockwork into the distant future, his prediction of when Io would show up was wrong. Logic told him Io did not speed up and slow down. It wasn't until he considered the changing distances between Earth and Jupiter in their orbits around the Sun that he realized light must have a speed and was responsible for throwing off his projections. That light takes time. So here's the where we drop the hammer on religion right now. Today we have incredible technology and have a camera capable of taking 10 trillion frames per second. In this video, you are witnessing the light from a laser within a 1 millimeter length. Imagine this speed travels 7.5 times around the Earth in 1 second, and we are able to watch it within a millimeter. If this was a bullet fired from a gun, we would have to watch it for years just to cross this 1 millimeter distance. It's mind-boggling, but it's true nonetheless. Now we know the most distant galaxy we have ever photographed and measured so far in the universe left its source 13.2 billion years ago, more than 8 billion years before our sun was born. And so there's just no way that God created the earth and the heavens and in 6 days, when the speed of light is just one thing that answers some of the age, because we know the distances, we know them very well, and we know exactly what the speed of light is. So we know that when we look at the furthest distances, we are looking at the light that has traveled to us from those sources that long ago. Creationists might say that a day then is not the same as a day now, as if the globe, as if our world didn't take 24 hours to turn. It took 2 billion years to turn, or something like that. Insane. Isn't that what it's all about? It's about fighting insanity with saneness and with logic and with facts. So thank you very much for tuning into this. I would appreciate it. I would like it, enjoy it a lot, actually. If some of you are on Twitter, you'd follow me, because we can discuss this stuff. I'd rather talk about that than some of the things that are on Twitter or Facebook. I haven't really been very successful at Instagram. Maybe it's a good spot to put a video up, but I don't really know much about it yet. So you can get my links. If you just go to the website, you can find the links to those social media platforms for me. So the website is theworldsbiggestlie.com. So anyway, I look forward to chatting with any one of you on stuff like this, and if you have ideas, it'd be awesome if you'd share them, or ideas for other videos. It won't all be science, of course. It's going to be using religion against itself, its own claims, and we've got I'll probably do a story on Abraham and Isaac, and how that was had the biggest effect on our world as any mythological story has had. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.